Lesson 3.1 was titled Pairs of Lines and Pairs of Angles. What are their relationships? What do they look like? We started with parallel lines, which we said were two lines that never intersect and they're coplanar. We said be careful. Sometimes in geometry, even though something looks like it's so, you cannot conclude it is so unless there's info, such as, in this case, parallel markers showing that they're parallel, or evidence, meaning something from the given information is telling us or giving us enough info for us to conclude that those are indeed truly parallel lines. We've got something called perpendicular lines, which we saw in the first chapter, which said that, sorry, give me a second, I've got a mess here. Okay, which we said were two lines that intersect and are coplanar, 90 degrees. Intersect at 90 degrees, so that's perpendicular. That's the symbol for perpendicular. Then we had this case where we have two lines that don't intersect and they're not coplanar. It's called skew. So if I can show it somehow in my camera here, here are two lines, and I don't know if you can see it, they're not intersecting and they're not on the same plane, so those are skew. Then we came to the case where you have two lines intersected by a transversal, such as this case, two lines with a transversal, and it creates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles. Exterior section is this, and interior. And we have these four names of these angle pair relationships. Corresponding are these two angles, 1 and 5, 3 and 7, 2 and 6, 4 and 8. Then we have alternate interior. Alternate because it's on, it flips on opposite sides of the transversal, and interior because it's in this green section. So 3 and 6 on the left and the right, and then 4 and 5 right and the left. We've got something called alternate exterior angles. That's 1 and 8, 2 and 7. Why alternate? Because they're opposite sides of the transversal, so you have 1 and 8. And exterior because they're in the exterior sections. Finally, we have something called consecutive interior. Consecutive means kind of like right next to each other and on the same side in this case. So consecutive interiors are like 3 and 5 and 4 and 6. So the point of this lesson was for you to get familiar. It was mostly vocabulary. Parallel, perpendicular, skew, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interiors, and transversals. And to get familiar with these configurations, because we'll discover some stuff in future lessons about them. Thanks for watching. Take care.